Hi, these are my hands. These hands, I've been through a lot this year. I used to really love my hands, and I still love my hands, but I really like having really nice, smooth hands. But as you can see or you may not be able to see, I'll compare it to my skin here. My hands are very red right now, and they're actually very dry, and they hurt to bend. I was having a hard time just bending it. It's from some chemotherapy drugs I'm taking. And, it's really interesting. I've learned so much. It's been a very humbling experience, because, in this busy, weird life that we live, we can take things for granted. Then all of a sudden you got these hands that you can't open things, like you understand what it feels like to be like, Harold! Open this, or you're hungry and you want to open something and you can't, But it doesn't really matter. Interestingly enough, I got a great roommate who I can call Harold, and she opens it for me. So I've had helping hands come into my picture and inspire my life to keep on dancing and prancing. But the cool thing is I can't open things, but I've been able to play guitar, which is my passion. And that's kind of what I've learned, is like how to get through the roughness of it, is to just kind of surrender to it and open up to those helping hands, and also not take your hands for granted, and to learn to go with the struggle by not letting it get you down, Still do the things you love to do, like for me, play guitar, As you can see you may be able to see it or may not be able to see it, but there's kind of like blood from playing the guitar that's kind of, and also on all of my cuticles or whatnot. You'd think you could just send me to get a manicure or whatever, but you gotta be very careful. A lot of those places aren't as clean as they should be. And also because, as you'll see in a minute, my toes have been infected, but anytime you're dealing with cancer and chemotherapy, infection is your worst enemy. So, gotta play it careful, and you gotta go, okay, yeah, I like having pretty hands, but maybe I have some rough hands for a minute. But you know what? At least I have the gratitude to have hands. These hands of mine are alive. And they're living today. And, they're touching piano still, and guitars still. And now I get to call my roommate Harold as a joke. Harold! I can't open it already. You take the trash out. I know what it's like to be old in my bones and in my hands and in my feet. And I've learned a lot from it. I've learned to take things not for granted anymore, but to really have gratitude. Really, really deep gratitude. And even though, I can feel it in my bones, I can barely stand up fully straight sometimes. The fact that I'm able to walk out the door is a beautiful day. Every day I'm able to do that. And, I think that as I age, I'll come more and more full circle into just being a part of this world we live in and living our lives today and not tomorrow or next week or yesterday, or living in this linear experience, but living right here now at this point in time. And learning to surrender, learning to open, learning to be humbled, and learning to reach out and say, I need your help. It's very humbling, and it's very empowering at the same time. You would think that humility, you'd think you'd have to be in a really low place in life, and maybe many people think I'm in a low place in life because I've been doing chemotherapy for the last 6 months, 7 months, whatever, and in and out of surgery. But I've actually, when you get slapped around by life or whatnot, it wakes you up. And so even if I have maybe 5 to 10 years less than the next person, it's like dog years, because you're aware of each breath in a way that is so fulfilling, because you don't take it for granted. And then all of a sudden you go, you know what, I do have a heart. I do have these things that I feel. I have these passions that I want to touch. I have these beautiful friends that I want to really know and share deeply with. And just, you know, I want to be an integral part of my life and not just react to hardships in my life or focus on guilt from the past or worries about the future. But just be happy about, like, what am I eating today? You know? What's the weather like outside? How does it make me feel? You know, is it sunny? Should I go out and soak up the sunshine? If it's cold, do I want to get all cuddled up and read a book or watch a movie with a friend or my boy? Or, you know, it's just like, and also, you know, I think that's been a big thing for me is like my dog and my son have been so vital in me not getting caught up on, oh, I have cancer. It's like, no, even though I have this, I still have to walk the dog when I can, even though Harold does a lot of it. But also, you know, I still have a dog who needs to be fed and need to walk, and I still have a son who needs to be played with and tickled and bathed and to school and all that. And it keeps me busy, you know. It keeps me like, oh, I don't, you know. Apparently there's two kinds of cancer patients. There's the kind that feel doomed, and there's the kind that kind of get like, wow, I'm alive, cool, you know. And I think that there's a choice in everything. And even if you are that grumpy person who thinks that they're doomed and being punished and life isn't fair, you can turn that around and say, hey, no, I'm not that person anymore. I decided to go upward and onward and live my life and be happy and go, oh, I got handed a piece of poop today. Woohoo! You know, it's your perspective, you know. Like, you could, you know, someone could cover you in water and you can go, okay, it looks like I get to go to the thrift store and find some cool-ass pants I would never wear otherwise, or I could walk around going, the world sucks. Oh, I have cancer, or I have bad credit, or I have no boyfriend, or whatever. Beat yourself up all you want, but you have oxygen. And if you have oxygen, you got a choice on how you're going to use that oxygen. And I suggest that you look at these hands and go, yeah, okay, they're red and they've been through some hardships and they're all wrinkly. If you get really close, you can see it. And I have a gangly and cyst that freaks people out and all this stuff. But you know what? I play guitar and I play the piano. And I play games with my boy, and like I put moisturizer on my hands like 20 times a day, but they still feel like they're 80 years old. Well, you know what? I'm gonna clap for life, and I'm gonna go, okay, dudes, let's do it, you know, until I don't have that oxygen. And when I run out of oxygen, I'm gonna have a smile on my face because everything is A-okay if you choose to use your perspective to look through your heart. You know, look through your eyes, through your heart, and be honest with your heart. And, you know, be humbled enough to grow and get out of the comfort. Because, you know, comfort is kind of a prison cell sometimes, you know, where we're all like, oh my God, this hell is horrible. But we feel safe in that hell. And sometimes it takes cancer or some life-changing experience to go, whoo, hey, whoo. Oh, stretched! Forced to be stretched. Oh, I got red hands, you know, to make you go, wow, I have hands. You know, if you have hands, you can build things. And if you can't build them, then you can learn to ask someone to help you build it. And that's a beautiful thing. I say, if you're alive and you're breathing and you got oxygen, use it wisely. You know, create your temple. Understand that your body is a temple. Use your heart. Use your legs. Walk around. Touch the oxygen. Feel the oxygen. Touch the earth, though. That's another thing I've really learned. It's like, just touch the earth, you know? Just touch it. I love trees, you know? Trees, no matter what you do, they're there. They're not afraid of the storms that come. They're not afraid of the brutal sun. They're not afraid of anything. They've got strong roots. Connect with your roots. Connect with the earth. And you'll find that you can survive and conquer anything. And it's not even conquering. You're usually going, if you step into the moment, you're kind of zippity-doo-dah. You know? You're like, hey, my oh my, what a wonderful day. So anyway, if all this crazy weird business I've gone through can inspire people to just go, hey, let's live today, and let's not be so shy about our struggles and our victories. Let's share them with each other, and let's, you know, connect the dots more with each other, because I think we're all stars, and that way we can create a beautiful constellation. And you know, it's not piss on Earth, it's peace on Earth. Let's do it. Anyway, okay, that's a wrap. I'd like to show my toes soon.